everyone, and welcome back to the Charles L. Sewell Center here for our second of two games here on the doubleheader on the day. It's the Bryant Bulldogs and your Robert Morris Colonials. Earlier, we saw the Colonials women's team hang on for a victory. A huge second half propelled them to a victory over the Bulldogs. We'll see if the men's team can't do the same today. Welcome, everyone, to the Colonial Sports Network's presentation of Robert Morris basketball. I'm Vince Russo alongside Dante Pearson and Sam Anthony. Should be a dandy here today in the Chuck. The last season in the Chuck, as they announced that they'll be building a new arena starting in 2019. So it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. Dante, as we look at today's matchup, there's one big one-on-one matchup that I know that you have highlighted. Tell us a little bit about that.
This matchup that we're going to be looking at is going to be at the guard spot. We're going to look on the Bryant side, Nazare Zuzwa. Nazare Zuzwa, he's a young sophomore guard for this Bryant Bulldogs team. Second in NEC play and scoring, averaging about 20 points per game. And on the Robert Morris side, of course, Kayvon Stewart, the experienced senior guard. Last game, he had 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. So watch out. This experienced Kayvon Stewart could get in Nazare Zuzwa's head.
Sam, on the other side of the guard position, Matty McConnell. It's no stranger to anyone that he really struggled at the start of the season shooting the ball. He's known for his shooting prowess, and it took him a while to get that stroke. Seems like now he's starting to get his rhythm. What have you noticed from Matty McConnell?
Vince, the last 3 games, we've seen a different Matty McConnell. Started the season, like you said, he struggled to just shoot the ball at all. In the last 3 games, he's been 12 for 29 from 3, a 42.9%. He's reached double digits in all of those games, having a double-double last Saturday versus Wagner. We expect a big game from him as he continues to find the baskets.
We'll see if Stewart and McConnell continue to be the key today for a Colonials team that is trying to improve upon its success here in conference play. They enter in at 3-4, while the Bulldogs are 2-5. We're going to throw to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue to get you ready for the opening tip here in just a few minutes between the Bulldogs and your Colonials here on the Colonial Sports Network. To the Colonial Sports Network, our presentation of Robert Morris basketball. Dante, let's take a look at a couple of stats here. What jumps out on this page here to you on this graphic?
Right here, it's the field goal percentage for the Bryant Bulldogs. They're shooting at about a 44% clip, while Robert Morris is shooting well under 40%. And this Bryant Bulldog team, they can put the ball in the bucket, but a statistic that is not on this sheet at Bryant, they give up a lot of points. They're ranked 9th in NEC play, giving up about 81 points per game. So this is a chance for Robert Morris, who has a struggling offense, to see if they can get a jump started here today. And
they're going to have to. The Bulldogs are 3-0 when holding teams under 70 points. The Colonials averaging just over 60 on the season. They did have 74 the other day. Nice offensive outpouring against CCSU, the Blue Devils. See if they can't keep it up today against the Bulldogs. We're about a minute away. Looking at the series all time, Colonials lead 12-2. They are 6-2 here at the Sewell Center. So the only 2 victories the Bulldogs have ever had in this series have both come here at the Sewell Center. And the Colonials waste no time in using that size to their advantage. They'll get the tip, and we are underway here on the Colonial Sports Network. Just 63 of 101 now on the season, just under 63% from the free throw line. And now he will try and salvage at least one out of this trip to cut into an early 2-0 lead. That one is up, and also a brick. And so now a drive by Castor. He gets the ball stripped from him by Isaiah Still. Nice heads-up play there by our cameraman, Alec Balenciaga, to deflect that ball away from the camera and still hang on to get the nice shot. Shout out over there. And we head to our first stoppage in the action at the under 16. So we get a look at where the Colonials have been, just 2-4 in their last 6. But what do you think, Dante? Is this team trending upwards or downwards right now?
I mean, looking at the schedule, you would think that this team is turning downwards, starting off at the top of the list. 2 bad losses to Fairleigh Dickinson, who's projected to win the NEC, and then LIU Brooklyn, but then they go on to beat St. Francis Brooklyn, and then St. Francis, who's playing very, very well right now in the NEC. A little bit of a surprise factor, but this Robert Morris team, they just need to generate a little bit more offense. It's a great defensive team, but if they can get a little bit more help scoring with Isaiah Still and Kayvon Stewart starting to pick it up, and they can turn into a potential powerhouse in the NEC.
Coming back the other way, a beautiful finger roll, but just a bit too much on it, and a huge block by Burke. But a continuation of the offensive rebound. Towns goes back up and gets fouled, so he'll go to the line. Towns, 34 for 50 on the season, a 68% free throw shooter. And we saw Burke on the other end. Deshaun Burke with a nice move towards the basket. I firmly believe Dante, as the first free throw is up and good, and extends the lead to 3 for the Bulldogs. I think Burke has a shot as we look at the initial finger roll down here. Burke has an opportunity to be a really solid player. Big block there if he can bulk up a little bit in this offseason. What says you?
Oh, most definitely. I was just getting ready to say that. If he could just put a little bit more weight on him, Braden Burke, he's going to be an absolute force here in NEC play.
Foul will be called there. I believe Aaron Tate. No, it'll be Matty McConnell grabbing at the jersey. McConnell gets tagged with his first, the 6th team foul. We take another look. A nice dish there from Stewart. And the extra pass gets it over to Still. And a beautiful finish. Colonial's down just 1, and while we have a second, we'll throw it to our talented sideline reporter, Sam Anthony.
Thanks, guys. Guys, the Colonials this year have struggled to score the ball, sitting at 6th worst in the country in points per game. And to respond to that, Coach Toole today has been trying to push the pace. I saw him have words earlier with Matty McConnell when he chose to pull up rather than push the pace in transition. They want to see it get those quick points and see if they can get the Bryant Bulldogs while they're not looking. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Sam. Billy Giles getting set to check in for the Colonials. A nice steal there by Aaron Tate, who gets in front. Now the other way, it's Stewart creating space, and he leaves it on the doorstep, and it's Tate. Mama, he's a bad, bad man with the slam. And the Colonials take the lead, 10-9. The Bulldogs force their hand. They'll take a timeout, and we will too. When we return, the Colonials up 1 with 9.5 left here in the first half. He drastically improves his conversion rate.
Let's go, Patty!
As he pulls the Bulldogs within 1 with just over 7 minutes to play. Clive Allen now with the ball. He'll get it out to McConnell. McConnell to Stewart, who takes the screen from McConnell and gets the ball out eventually to Lorenzen Wright Jr., who pulls the trigger. That one just off the mark. Tipped away by Clive Allen, who's able to get it back, and he pushes it back out. Great hustle. And eventually Wright Jr. gets it to Stewart, who drives and finishes. A beautiful take. And Stewart builds that lead back up to 3.
And that's the hustle right there by Clive Allen and Aaron Tate to get that offensive rebound.
Now Tate on the defensive end trying to shut things down. The Colonials are able to get a turnover there as that one trails out of bounds. Good pressure by Stewart to force the turnover. There we see once again the beautiful take.
That was a great take right there by Kayvon Stewart, being able to use the left hand.
In the form of 3 Colonials. That shot won't go down by Towson, and now the other way, falling and drawing the foul is Clive Allen. And it looks like he will head to the free throw line as well. Take another look at the second chance points generated by Aaron Tate. Again, beautiful adjustment there to finish by Lorenzen Wright Jr. Throw it over to our sideline reporter. What do you got for us over there down under the hoop, Sam Anthony?
Guys, Roberto Manavani, who has started in 12 and played in all 20 of the Colonials games this season, has yet to see action today. He's been seen on the bench talking to the trainers, and since about 8 minutes left on the clock, has been on a bike. He did warm up with the team, but it is unclear whether we will see him in action today. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sam. Colonials still on top, but just by 1. Burke with a nice drive. He loses it, and a steal by Naduba. He comes back the other way, takes the contact, and a beautiful finish over the shoulder. I don't even know that he actually saw that one. Nonetheless, nice finish there. And Clive Allen and the Colonials are down for the first time in about 10 minutes of game action. Isaiah Still drives, gets it up to Lorenzen Wright Jr. He pulls the trigger. That one bounces around and finds its way home. Colonials don't take long to reciprocate there, and it's 21-19, Robert Morris.
And right there, he might have passed Matty McConnell for the best shooter on this team. I mean, Lorenzen Wright, he is an absolute marksman from that three-point line.
Colonials with a tip and a turnover. Clive Allen starts things out the other way. They'll get it to Burke. Can he throw it down? Takes the contact, settles for the layup. But the lead is up to 4 for Robert Morris.
And right now, Robert Morris is getting a little bit of a groove here. The under 4 timeout still hasn't came yet for these Bryant Bulldogs. I mean, they're looking a little bit fluttered. This crowd is getting behind them.
Nice take. Now the throw out, and it'll be a blocking foul on Wright Jr. Trying to get himself positioning there, just couldn't do it. Let's take a look there at that beautiful 3 by Wright Jr. Getting that shooter's roll all the way around the cylinder, and then the hard take by Burke.
Right there, that was a great take by Burke, and a better 3 right there by Wright Jr. And Robert Morris is starting to get in a little bit of a groove now. Now they got this under 4 timeout.
Let's take a look while the two teams convene along the benches. Some of the scores around. And right now we have CCSU on top of St. Francis, Sacred Heart leading Wagner. Fairleigh Dickinson early up on top of LIU Brooklyn in a matchup of 2 of the top teams in the conference. And Mount St. Mary's up 4 on St. Francis Brooklyn. And well, we will see if they can stay out of foul trouble and walk out of the Soul Center with a victory. But we will head to halftime. Don't go far. We will return with the second half here with the Colonials up 7, 29-22, our halftime score on the Colonial Sports Network. Welcome back, one and all, to the Colonial Sports Network. Just a few moments away from the second half of action. We had our fair share of it in the first. Both teams warming up with the Colonials on top after 20 minutes of play. 29-22 our score at the half. A look at some of the stats, and Dante, buckets were hard to come by. Just a combined 15 field goals for the two teams. But what can you say if you can't really say enough, but what can you say about this Colonials defense, forcing 6 for 26 and 0 for 5 numbers. Double screen set up to try and create some space for Burke. He finds Stewart in the corner who will jack up the 3. That one's a brick, but it's Burke who comes in. No one boxed out, so he puts it back in, and the lead back to 10.
And right there, you just got to find the body. And Burke, he's been able to get a couple of those tips around the rim, getting one not being able to fall, but he's doing a great job crashing the offensive glass.
Colonials force a tough pass there, and they'll get a turnover. Take another look. 3 ball off the mark. Burke, the high riser, able to push that one up through. Nice little set play there. So we will throw it on over to Sam. Sam, good to hear from you. What's going on, bud?
Guys, at the end of the first half, Ikenna Ndugba, the number 0 for Bryant, went down with an injury. We saw him limping. They were taking a look. He went down as a right foot injury. He was back out with the team warming up, but we have yet to see him come back in today. And Ndugba did have a 22-point performance in his last NEC game against Sacred Heart, so Bryant would really love to have him back.
Thank you very much, Sam.
Right there, a little bit of a mismatch right there from Burke.
Shot clock under 10. Clive Allen turns, gets it out to Wright Jr. The shot falls, and the corner 3 with 1 second left pushes the lead back to 11.
And right there, that's one shooter you do not leave on this Robert Morris Colonials team is Lorenzen Wright Jr. I mean, he's a true marksman from that 3-point line. That's the only place where he really stands on the offensive end. As we see here, great pass from Clive Allen, a catch, shot, look at the rotation. Good bucket.
Fresh shot clock for the Bulldogs as they go to work. That one's taken away by Burke, and now he comes back down the other way, creates some space. He gets fouled hard. He gets fouled incredibly hard. Had some choice words, and thank goodness that Aaron Tate, the leader of the Colonial squad, was there to ring him around the neck and say, we don't need any of that. Take another look at this hard foul.
I mean, there's nothing intentional from that foul. I think he just lost his footing and just ran into him, but I think the refs are going to come over here and look and see if there's anything malicious about that call.
Davon Stewart with some full court pressure, almost causes a turnover. Now spinning, running into a couple defenders, and it's Towns who checks back in. He turns the ball over. And as we head to the under 12 media timeout, the Colonials with a 9-point lead. When we return, we'll see if they can expand on that here on the Colonial Sports Network. Let's see if Sam Anthony knows anything that we don't know. Sam, what do you got?
Guys, no news on the injury yet, but it has been a frustrating day for Kayvon Stewart and Maddie McConnell. Between the two, there are 7 combined turnovers and only 9 points in this matchup. Both of them have been seen very frustrated on the sideline. Toole has been trying to talk to 2 of what he considers his veteran leaders on this team, but they have been going more to Lorenzen Wright, who is approaching a career high in points today. We don't know if Maddie McConnell will maybe hit some more shots later, but right now it looks like Lorenzen Wright might be the guy.
And an errant pass by Still. Luckily, he gets back to it, atones for the error. And let's see, he drives, gets the blocking foul. But it was on the floor, so no shooting foul free throws coming up forth for the Colonials.
Right there, it was a great take by Isaiah Still, seeing that the lane was wide open and taking the lane on Castor a little bit quicker than Castor. And right there, Isaiah Still has a mismatch. Right there, you just got to give him the ball. A charge call right there on Deshaun Burke. But right there, you got to give Isaiah Still the ball and then just clear out and let him go to work. I mean, he has Petway on him. And Isaiah Still, he can create his own shot.
So it is a charge call on Deshaun Burke. And so just a 2-point lead for the Colonials with 7.5 minutes left. While we have some time, take a look at some of the upcoming games that the Colonials will play as they've headed into the conference slate. Trips to Mount St. Mary's and St. Francis next, as well as LIU Brooklyn. And Dante, that is a walk down the gauntlet. 3 teams with just 1 loss on the season coming into today. A 1-point game. Is it up and good? No. For the second time today, Towns misses the second. And it results in the Colonials holding on to a 1-point lead. McConnell gets it to Giles, who's getting some minutes here. Now a blocking foul as Clive Allen is tripped up by McHugh. That will be foul number 2 against McHugh. On the other end, the foul on Clive Allen was his 3rd. So now both teams in the bonus. Allen with a chance to convert on the 1-and-1. 49-47. Bulldogs out in front. Stewart orchestrates the offense, trying to get the Colonials back in this one. He takes it hard to the hoop and finishes with the foul. Kayvon Stewart with a chance to put the Colonials back in front the old-fashioned way.
And right there, that's the senior doing what the senior does. I mean, sees the lane. They tried to ice the screen. He gets to the lane. He gets the bucket, finishes with the left, with the hoop, and the harm. And Kayvon Stewart, he's impressed us with his free throw shooting this year. Another chance at the line and for Robert Morris to take this lead.
Stewart with the chance. He executes after missing one, atones for that, and puts the Colonials back in front. 50-49, 4.5 minutes left. Who wants it more? Maybe we can get a view of it when we come back. But first, we'll step aside with the Colonials up 1, 3:38 left. You can catch the rest here on the Colonial Sports Network. Put the Colonials into the double bonus as well. Grant makes both. He is a 78% free throw shooter on the season. He's 4 for 4 today now. Stewart able to get around. Fakes the shot, the pass. I'll get it to the corner to Deshaun Burke. Deshaun gets it to Stewart, who's going to take the 3. That one's off the mark. Recovered and put back in by Burke. Timeout Colonials. And it's a 1-point game with 2:35 left.
And Deshaun Burke has done a great job crashing the glass. Only coming into this game, only 25 offensive rebounds.
We'll see what happens next. We'll step aside once again to a commercial break. This is the Colonial Sports Network, brought to you by Angelia's Pizza. 2:35 left on the game clock here. The crowd springs into action quite literally as we have ourselves a thriller here between two conference rivals. It's the Bryant Bulldogs on top by 1 over the Robert Morris Colonials here at the Charles L. Sewell Center in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. 2 minutes left. Can the Colonials find their way back into this one? They'll draw the foul. And Stewart gets a chance at some points with the clock stopped. Stewart with the first of 2 in the double bonus. He converts, trying to pull the Colonials back within 1. Stewart has been exceptional, shooting almost 90% in NEC play from the free throw line. Here, the second one. A silent crowd here in the Sewell Center gives him time to concentrate. He does knock both of them down. Towns will throw it into McHugh, and it is a 1-point game once again. We've just dipped under 2 minutes left. And now coming back the other way, can Grant put it down? A beautiful take just off the mark, and it's still that comes up with it. A barn burner here. And a timeout. Stewart going to hand the ball to the official. He's frustrated. The official seems to be more encouraging him than anything. I don't think Stewart had any words for the officials. I think he was just sort of frustrated, and he wanted the call there. He wanted the foul.
I mean, he's in his own gym. He's a senior. He has his right.
So if you can't get enough RMU-TV here with the Colonial Sports Network, and I sure as heck hope that you don't, tune in Tuesdays at 6:30 for Sports Talk in the Bird. And then on Thursday, the award-winning Colonial Sports Center.
Who shoots 77% from the field. Grant, who shoots 78% from the field. They removed Petway, but the referees are going to have to review this one. It looks like that might have been out on Bryant.
I think at this critical of a juncture, they will look at it. It's important to make a call on the floor, but now we'll get a view. In the conference, a win would put them back at 500. Here's a good angle of it here.
And it looks like that might, from this angle right here, it might look like it is off Bryant. It might be Robert Morris's ball. From the angle right here, that is a very good angle. And it looks like that might be off the fingertips of Castor.
It's either Castor or Aaron Tate. Let's look at who it might touch last.
And that is definitely off the hands of Castor. That has to be Bryant ball.
From us to you, on behalf of Dante Pearson, Sam Anthony, even the camera guy right here, Alec Balenciaga, we want to thank all of you here on the Colonial Sports Network for all the adventures we've been through here at the Charles L. Sewell Center. We'll see you next at 84 Lumber Arena for some hockey action. But until then, I'm Vince Russo on behalf of all of our crew. Have a wonderful day. This is the Colonial Sports Network.